about how afraid they are of dying. Well, I don't think that's the worst thing that can happen to you here.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, beautiful people. How do we feel about the creepy From intro I just did? Something about music going backwards is really creepy to me, but I loved it. Let me know in the chat, how did you feel about it? But thank you guys so much for being here today. We are here to discuss From, and it's also my birthday today. So shout out to me and shout out to From. And if you are on my channel, we are streaming from 2 channels. If you are on my channel, I do have a poll in the comments. Who do you think will save everyone? Boyd, Jade, Victor, or can no one be saved at all? Let me know how you feel. Please participate in that poll. And let's see who is here before I bring out my wonderful panel. Breezy K, thank you so much for being here. Fletcher the Chromonacle, thank you for being here in the live. Golden Child, creepy, yes, very creepy. Miss Lisa, my mommy, hello, I'm here for the madness. I can't figure it out alone. My mother was a Lost stan. She was obsessed with Lost, and now she's here for From. And hopefully she won't be as disappointed. Vic, thank you so much. Yes, it is my beautiful birthday. 40 years ago today, my mother got the greatest gift ever. But we are streaming from my channel, A Night of Horror, and we have 2 great panelists here. If you're on my side, I do have them linked in the description. Please make sure you check them out. We are also streaming from Julie B Deep Dives channel, and everyone, please make sure wherever you are watching, you like the video, share the video, keep the chat active. Let us know your opinions, your thoughts, your theories, and how you feel about From. Because this is one of those shows where everyone's thoughts can be vastly different. Your interpretation can be different. But let me go ahead and bring my panelists out. Coming up first, she is no stranger to the channel. She has been here twice before on my KillerCon live horror panel. Miss Nadia, I am so happy to have you here.
I'm so happy to be here, and it's all Norse mythology. That's it. We're done.
And when I felt like I was on Nadia's live, and I was like, I don't know if I belong here because I don't even know what Norse mythology is. I had to Google it.
Well, thank you, Nikki, for having me on today. I'm very excited to talk about this episode with you and Julie. And happy birthday! Girl, happy birthday. I'm so 40. There's no way. I think honestly, I thought you're in your late 20s. I'm not kidding you. This is not for real.
Thank you. I take it. Now, I have been watching From since the beginning. I was extremely hyped season 1. I did get really frustrated season 2, and I literally said I'm not coming back for 3, but here I am back again. How are you with season 3 so far, Nadia? Are you satisfied with From season 3 so far?
Somewhat. We're still not getting a lot of answers. I'm hoping I'm not expecting everything to be answered because I think they're hyping up to be renewed for season 4. I think that's why the marketing behind it this time has been a lot stronger than the last 2 seasons. Yeah. I was okay with season 2, but there was a lot of filler episode. I think our patience for season 2 will pay off in this season, though.
I hope so. Because I'm like, of course, the overarching mystery won't be solved, but all the little threads and little things, I need the dots to connect.
I think we'll get a couple of them to connect.
Please. Because so much stuff has happened. I forget some things. Like when we just had the episode with the bus driver, I'm like, I forgot about that nursery rhyme and her grandma.
I forgot about her, to be honest. I forgot that she was still there. I was like, oh, wait. Because she's not in her bus uniform and stuff. I was like, oh, okay. That's that chick. But okay, yeah.
And also, we have Miss Julie B Deep Dives. This is her first time on the channel. Julie, thank you so much for being here with us to talk From.
Hi, thank you so much for having me, and happy birthday, Nikki. Glad to be here.
Julie, would you rather celebrate your birthday in the From, or would you rather wake up as Boyd and have to go save Randall from the creatures?
Oh, man. I think I would rather celebrate my birthday in the From. I don't envy Boyd. I really don't.
So we are going to get into all things episode 4, our theories, and just deep dive into everything that has been happening so far. So of course we know Tabitha, we started this season where she was in the real world. She met Victor's dad, Henry. We found out more about Victor's mom and how she's had these visions and saw From before she ever came. And I got really excited because I thought we were finally about to like tie stuff in. Then Tabitha freaks out and we end up back in the From. But what I'm curious about and would love to know what the ladies think, will Tabitha escaping from and coming back make things worse or better? When Tabitha comes into Community House in episode 4, the people are aghast. Like, we are really looking crazy. And I don't know why we just let Tabitha go upstairs, because I would have said, no, honey, you have to answer some questions. Like, we need to know where you've been and what's been happening. But of course, since season 1, the whole hope that we all hold on to is finally escaping From. So with Tabitha having actually escaped, I wonder if this will make things worse, because it seems that escaping won't really do anything because we can get sucked back into From at any moment. Nadia, do you think this will bring down the morale and the hope and of the town that Tabitha escaped and came back, or will it, make things better or worse?
I think we're about to see a division in the town between two factions. I think we're going to see a division between those who will follow Boyd and those who will follow Randall. So I think that's already set in motion. I think with Tabitha coming in, to be honest, I don't like Tabitha. She's not my favorite character. But I think Tabitha is a chess piece to bring is it Henry or Harry? Henry back. I think that's the writer's motivation, is how do we loop back out to the world to bring Henry back in? She's also supposedly the chosen one with the children, supposed to be protecting the children. So I think there's going to be a lot of isolating her, which might make her, I don't know, go crazy or something. Because I know her husband's about to go crazy. He sounds like, I don't like Jim either. I don't like either of them. They're horrible parents. They're both horrible parents. I'm sorry.
You know what? I don't even care about them being horrible parents, but they are. I just don't like Jim, Tabitha, or Julie since season 1. I'm just like, oh God, like I want them to just die off. Like
something. But I don't know. I just feel like Tabitha, she might be important and she might be reincarnated version of Miranda. There's theories of that. It's obvious that this place chooses particular people to be here, and Tabitha being one, and I would even say the whole family being chosen to be there instead of just stumbling across it. But I don't know. It would have been nice if this would have been the end. Like, this would have been Jim's tipping off point. He sees his wife getting ripped apart, tied to an ambulance.
I would have loved it, because honestly, the way we were out in the streets at night, so cavalier, like every time someone's back was turned when they were at the ambulance, it was giving me anxiety, because I'm like, baby, we still got monsters. Like, why are we out here so cavalier? It was irking me so bad. Breezy K, I agree. I don't like all 3. I also don't like Ethan. Not too much on Ethan, because I actually liked Ethan in the beginning, but for some reason, season 3, Ethan is on my last nerve, actually. Julie, do you have any thoughts on Tabitha, her escape, coming back to From, if it will make things better or worse? Have we learned anything? Like, are we better off after Tabitha left the town than we were in the beginning?
Honestly, at this point, no, not at all. I mean, like the showrunner said about this season, that escape will become a very real and tantalizing possibility for them. And I think that that's because, okay, they see this person who actually managed to get out somehow, and they're going to, now they'll think that, okay, now we can do this too. Let's all go to the bottle tree and swan dive out of the lighthouse. And honestly, I don't think, like, if they even managed to make it to the lighthouse, I don't think it would work for them. I think that it was only meant for Tabitha to do, that she was allowed to escape for a specific reason by the boy in white. And if anyone else makes it to the lighthouse, they're falling to their deaths, if you ask me. They're gonna like jump like lemmings out of there, do a conga line out, and they're not gonna make it. Either that, or I think the bottle tree, when they go to look for it, it'll either take them somewhere else or it won't even be there when they go. So I don't think it's going to help like at all. The only saving grace could be if Tabitha tries to remember something that she saw in those paintings that could be of use, because she was convinced that maybe there was something she was missing. She spent the whole night down there in the basement looking at them at Henry's house. And then she told Jim, like she was just thinking there was something in there that might be able to help, but she couldn't figure it out. So I'm holding on to some sliver of hope. Maybe it wasn't pointless, because oh my gosh, you know, it was so exciting that she was out there getting clues, and now it's frustrating. And if anything, I think it should make them even more hopeless, because she got out, sure, but she got pulled back in against her will. So it makes it seem like escape may be possible, but it's only temporary. That's my thought on that.
Fromily Theory, thank you so much for being here in the live. Everyone in the chat, I am not ignoring you. I am listening to the panelists. I'm going through the slides, and I just can't keep my eye on the chat the entire time, but I'm absolutely not ignoring you guys. Absolutely not. But I agree with you, Julie, because I like me and Nadia said, we don't care for Tabitha, but going into this season, Tabitha was my favorite storyline because she was out, and I was very excited for her to meet up with Victor's dad and get these paintings in the basement and go to the tree that was in the real world. Like, I was very excited for what we were going to learn. How was she going to help the people currently and from? But I'm gonna be honest, I really feel like what the hell was she even out for? Like, we really like yeah. It feels like we went around the block to go across the street. Like, we really did all of that just to come back here. And I really feel like what emphasis is coming back with.
It's Henry. It's the reason to bring Henry in. I'm sure there's more to it. I'm sure there's more to Tabitha's story and her connection with Miranda and stuff. But from a writing perspective, how do you bring Victor's father into this to continue Victor's story? This is an easy way to bring him in. I think she's just a chess piece to just bring Henry into From.
I feel like Henry could have just been driving down the road and got here. Because I don't know. I just feel like what did we get from Tabitha being in the real world? Like, what did we really get? I'm just like,
yeah, you're right. You're right. He could have, like, Fromville has shown that it has no problem drawing in anyone who's in a vehicle. And Henry is no shut-in. We saw that he drives. So why would we need Tabitha to go fetch him? There has to be something more. So is it possible that maybe the boy in white sent her out, but some other entity drew her back in before she could find what she was supposed to find? Maybe there's more than one entity kind of, battling each other. Who knows?
I agree with you, Julie. I think there's an overall evil versus good going on, and the people from and these chosen people are just the chess pieces on the board for them. Like,
because that's what it felt like when she freaks out in the car. I literally was screaming at, like, just get to the MFing tree. Like, you done slept in this man's house. You done like, just get to the damn tree. It really felt like something was trying to like throw a monkey wrench in and keep her from getting to that tree, and it was so frustrating. Shout out to the 72 people here with us in this live. Let us know in the chat, do you think that the town will be better or worse off with Tabitha having escaped and come back? Because I really feel like if I'm in the From town and I'm just holding on to getting out, and I find out somebody got out and came back, I'm losing hope. Because, like, what the hell is the point of getting out if it can just suck me back in? Or either when I get out, I will never ride in the car ever again for my life.
Well, the question I have for that is, let's say someone just, not Tabitha, just a random one of them just gets out. Would it suck them back in? Because obviously Tabitha, there's something to her with the whole connection with Miranda. If somebody just stumbles across or is just a passenger when something happens and they get out, would they be sucked back in?
That's true. Like the people in the ambulance, I feel like they were kind of just there. They're not really the ones the town was seeking. It was Tabitha and Henry. So that
Mhm.
is true. But I don't know. I kind of feel like everyone is strategically here. Even the cop, even the EMTs. I don't know. I kind of feel like no one gets in this town that the From does not actually like pinpoint and want here. Whether you're a passenger, I don't know. Some way I feel like it's orchestrated. Did you notice it was night in town but day at the tree? I don't think it was night in town and day at the tree. I think it was like getting dark when Tabitha them were at the tree in the ambulance as they were riding into town. Because when the episode 3 ended and we were getting ready for it to get dark, I was thinking they're going to come into town at night. I don't think it was different times though. But that's my interpretation.
No, it looks like sunset here, like starting to go down, just the way that,
Sarah and Victor's quest. So this is something that I felt was stretched out. One episode we see Victor digging, then the next episode he pops up at Sarah's house, then the next episode I'm like, babe, we could have did a few of that. Like we could have kind of moved. But now seemingly Sarah and Victor are on this quest to find Jasper, who Victor feels holds the key. And I'm kind of excited for this and kind of not. Because this ties into all of the things that I feel like have happened that hasn't had a rhyme or reason or dots haven't connected. When Julie and her family gets into town, which is the same time Jade and his friend got into town, we made a point that 2 cars have never come at the same time except one time before, and that was when this massacre happened. Victor made a point of like things don't change in the From, the seasons change. I remember him and Ethan were like measuring the trees. Nothing ever came of any of that. I was like, okay, what's the point of telling us like 2 cars don't come? So seemingly one of my theories is everything is going to just start over. Like, is Ethan going to be Victor? Is everyone going to get slaughtered? But I also have another theory that Ethan is going to die. So I don't know. But I do feel like in what way is it relevant that we're constantly going back to Victor's childhood and that massacre? And I feel like Jasper evil. I don't know why we think we finna go find Jasper to tell us anything.
it's a dummy. It looks like the R.L. Stein dummy. Of course it's evil.
Right? Slappy. It looks like Slappy from Goosebumps.
I think it was you, Julie, who said it, that with the cycles, that Victor was just like an anomaly, like he was not supposed to survive, and that kind of threw a wrench in everybody's whatever NTD or things situation. So I think I don't think he was supposed to survive, like you said, and I think him remembering all this stuff is also throwing a wrench into whatever entity's going on, because he's not supposed to be here.
Yeah. What do you think, Julie?
Yeah, I think it's possible that he was an anomaly, and that's why, this place is still kind of stuck. Like, I think after a certain period of time, the whole thing resets. Like the monsters should change, but they still look like they're from the 50s and 60s, and it's been quite a long time since then. So, yeah, I think it's highly likely that Victor is an anomaly, and he fills a special role. He said to Ethan at the beginning of season 1 that the boy in white chose you like he chose me once. The question is, chose them for what exactly? Is this some kind of quest that they need to go on and Victor failed? Then again, Victor's name is Victor, as in victorious, which means winner. So it's almost like maybe he won the last cycle, if you think of it that way. But yeah, I'm really excited that he's sharing information with Sarah now, because they are tapped into this place in unique ways that others are not. And I think that could bring some hope. Like maybe this cycle can be different. If Victor is an anomaly, there might be other anomalies in this cycle too. So I have some hope, at least, that it's going to work out in the end. But right now it is frustrating trying to figure out where it's going to go.
What happens if this is aliens, ladies? What happens if it's just like they all wake up from being on an alien ship, or they all see like little gray men and it's just been an alien experiment? I'll tell you what I would think. I would say I wasted fucking 3 seasons of this show. That's what I would say if it's aliens, but that's my That's my take on it.
Yeah, I really have no theories on the overarching, like because I truly feel like I will be let down in the end, whether it's aliens, whether it's supernatural, whether it's the government, I don't know, whether we're all dead. Yeah, I don't think anything will kind of, in my opinion, live up to whatever we feel we're building up to. I just kind of feel like what could be the whole key and everything with From that would really, tie in with what we've been building and all the anticipation. But hey, maybe it will. But I don't know. The motivational misfit. Is anyone else shocked Jade is just learning about the faraway tree next episode? Victor took Julie through the tree a while ago. If I was a kid that went through a portal, I would never shut up. I am the type of viewer, I don't like to watch previews I don't watch the preview or anything like that because I like to just go in. So I don't know about that. But Julie or Nadia, do you guys have
I'm with you. I don't watch the trailer for the episodes. I don't want too much given away.
You're probably better off because I'll tell you right now, I'm telling you, they give too much away. And this is true of not just the trailers. MGM is spoiling way too much of their own show to begin with.
Wow.
The trailers gave away too much. The episode descriptions gave away too much. There was a second trailer released that had so many spoilers in it. I could not believe it. It was like a little featurette on Amazon. So I don't know why they're doing this. Photo dumps before the episode airs. They even spoiled some stuff on their Twitter account last week. Like, I don't know what they're doing, but honestly, I try to avoid as much as I can. But it's like I'm a YouTuber, so I'm going to hear about it anyway. So I just like whatever. I'll watch it all.
It's the renewal thing. It's to guarantee a season 4 renewal. I'm 100%. They didn't market it season 1 very well. They didn't market even season 2. When it turned over to MGM 3, this is the first time even, like, I hate to use this word, but like normies know about the show. When I watched season 1 and 2, I barely could find anybody doing breakdowns or talking about it. So I really think the reason why they're amping up and doing all these trailers and stuff, marketing, is because they're looking to get renewed at least for a season 4.
And I agree because I've been covering From since the season 1, and the amount of like channels covering it now is definitely vastly different than season 1 and season 2. Shout out to the 100 people here with us in this live talking From. DeMarcus Vaughn with the $5 super chat. Happy birthday, King Nikki. Enjoy your day, and many more too. Thank you so much, DeMarcus. I truly, truly appreciate that. The Miss Lisa 1999 super chat. My mother, thank you so much. Happy birthday. But From I'm just as lost. I need a few. What the word? What is this word?
Astrophysics.
Astrophysics professors to help me.
I don't even speak English well, Nikki, and you're making me excited. Like, what the heck?
Way to make me look like I can't read, mother. My sweet perspective. Oh my God. Thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Hey, Fromily, and other news. Happy birthday, Nikki. Thank you. Thank you. I truly, truly, truly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let's see what else is going on in the chat. Critical thinker. Yes, it's like puzzle pieces missing and replaced and pieces from another puzzle. The aliens only saw the shows Happy Days and Halloween and created Fromville. Now, I feel like Jasper is a little evil because we get the throwback of Victor as a child walking in on Christopher and Jasper. Jasper's talking. Obviously, a dog can't talk. And I feel like, obviously, that's the From. And we also have been told a few times that Christopher made people laugh, which was hard to do back then. He was nice. He was a friend to Victor. But after he saw the symbol, he started to change. And I feel like Jasper kind of ties into that. But I'm curious, they're going to find Jasper. Where would Jasper be?
Well, we all thought he was in the suitcase, right? We all thought, oh, he's going to be in the suitcase. Not a big deal. I think he's in the caves. Because if so there's a theory that these night creatures are the former victims right? That he's collected. Like I saw a theory that someone said the reason why their clothes are different times is it depends on the cycle, and they didn't make it out, so thus they've turned into night creatures. That's like the tip of the iceberg. So I would assume that Jasper is in those caves because we also saw other things in those caves too. Like,
Yeah.
I think a bicycle and other things that share. So I think he's in the caves.
Thank you so much, Nadia, for the birthday super chat. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I feel so special. Childish to think it's okay to. Oh, okay. I don't know what's happening there.
I don't know what's going on in the chat. There's a little bit of, I guess. Let's talk about the episode, folks. Let's talk about.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Yeah.
cannot keep my eye on the chat, but I don't know what that was. But Jasper is in the. Okay, so it seems like pretty much the theory is Jasper is in the caves. Who is going to go? Because my thing I'm annoyed with is we got off track when we had Kenny say let's burn and throw the alcohol down there. So who about to go into the caves and find Jasper? I know it's not going to be Sarah and
Well, Jasper's also shown up in the house too, right? Or at least somebody had a vision of Jasper, I believe, in the community house.
Yeah. Jade, in season 2, at the premiere, Jade was rolling up his last joint, and then he just looks over, and there's Jasper, screams at him, and it's the same scream as the vision he had of the guy under the boulder, which is interesting. And then at the end of the season, in the finale, Jade goes into the cave, and there's the dummy sitting there in a different spot than where Tabitha and Victor saw him in the cave. So somebody or something moved that dummy, or I don't know, from the looks of things, he probably got up and walked over there himself. Apparently he can move and he can talk of his own volition. So I think he's probably in the cave still, unless he walked on out, right? I guess he can move.
Oh my God. If he can walk, I'm going to tell you, I'm out, ladies. I don't
want
dolls. I don't like talking's fine, but if he can get up and walk and you see him like through the snow and like, nope, I'm out. I don't do dolls. I don't do creepy puppets. I'm out. You let me all know how season 3 ends. If he shows up like that, I'm out.
Oh, I love that. See, that's one of my favorite horror tropes, actually. I love the whole haunted dummy trope. But that goes back many years, like Twilight Zone, and even before the Twilight Zone, you had that trope. I'm here for it. I'm telling you. I was thinking that we'd only get this in a vision from Jade, but I never expected it would actually be real. I'm loving it. Loving it.
You can
maybe
I'll just watch your videos from now on after if I dip out.
You're not going to dip. If he's walking, you're going to be here, Nadia.
I'll be like my hands like this. Is he gone? I just don't like dolls or dummies and all that stuff.
Really? Oh my God.
No.
Of course, we know the parallels of Jade and Christopher. Jade is now seeing the symbol that Christopher saw. And one thing that kind of stuck out to me is and we did have, I said I was done, like being frustrated that these people don't talk and share information. Like it just is what it is at this point. We're 3 seasons in. But we had 2 people sharing things, or 3 if you count Tabitha talking to Jim about Miranda and stuff. But we also had Jade finally, after 3 seasons, opening up and telling someone about the things that he sees. And one moment that kind of struck me, and I can't hang on to every word these people say because, Lord, it's been 3 seasons. They done said a lot and it ain't tied in yet. But I did kind of feel something when Jade was like, I thought I was smart enough to figure this out. And I'm curious with the parallels between Jade and Christopher. Maybe there's something that Christopher couldn't handle. Maybe his mind cracked. Will Jade be able to handle whatever it is or figure out this symbol that Christopher couldn't? Is Jade the key? Will he be able to figure this out? Julie, what do you think about Jade, his parallels to Christopher, these visions and things he's been seeing since season 1? And I find one thing that we keep seeing is they keep missing an eye. I don't know what's with the missing eye, but if anybody knows, it's probably Julie.
that one eye symbolism, it's interesting for sure.
It's Odin.
Yeah, Nadia, you're right. I think it's an Odin reference. I do. And as far
That's
as
Norse mythology, Nikki. Just FYI. Sorry, Julie. Go ahead.
yes,
Okay.
I'm with you on that, Nadia. Yeah, and I think that could be a component here. And as far as Jade, I do think he is the key. I think that he was selected here. He was sort of a chosen one, but in Christopher's role. Um, the last time two cars came together, I believe it was probably Victor's family, or Victor, mom and sister, and the other car, I'm guessing, was Christopher. I think it probably mirrored this cycle where you had the Matthews coming, Ethan is the new Victor, and Jade is the new Christopher. Those are the roles that they fill. Oh, and of course, Tabitha's the new Miranda. So, yeah, but the difference is I think that Jade is going to figure this out. Right now, the visions are terrifying him. They might just be warnings, though. They could be trying to communicate a message to him that Christopher wasn't able to understand, and so it just didn't work out. I think he probably facilitated the massacre in some way. I think he likely lost his mind, probably assisted the monsters in finding everyone's hiding spots. That's my theory on that. But like a lot of people are thinking that. But Jade, yeah, I don't think Jade is going to follow the same path. He'll probably be driven just to the brink of insanity. Yeah, he was on his way there with that Sasquatch look, completely losing control of his grooming. But I think he'll figure it out.
Yeah, I have liked Jade since season 1. I can't stand Randall, but Jade and Randall are kind of the a-hole characters, but I feel like Jade is a more likable a-hole character. And
Oh,
I just love the way he came into town thinking this was a whole game his friend set up and he was just stealing the bicycle. Like, I just really like Jade. I just feel like I wish they would do more with Jade. I feel like for a little while there, we just saw him kind of drunk, high. I don't know what he getting high. I don't know. He was always under the influence. I want us to kind of move forward with Jade and kind of do something with his character. But I do feel like Jade is the key. And if anybody can solve it, it's Jade. But we do have the poll going on in the chat right now on the channel. Who do you think will save everyone? Jade, Boyd, Victor, or do you think no one can be saved? I will check the results when we get to the end. One other line that stood out to me is when Marielle is going at community house to check on Fatima, and she says, your color is looking good. And Fatima says, oh yeah, I've finally been able to keep something down. And she's told, get that baby nice and strong. Now, if you guys have been here, I don't think Fatima is pregnant with a baby. I question, how do we know she's pregnant, and pregnant with what exactly? And when she was eating the vegetables, quite a few people said, okay, she's craving vegetables now. Next is going to be blood. And here we go. When the cop came into town on the ambulance, she was shooting. And her shooting was getting on my nerve. Because why are you shooting when it ain't doing nothing? But Nikki from Community House gets shot. We try to save her. We take the bullet out, but she still dies. And Fatima goes upstairs because she want to be alone because she's sorry about the interaction they had. And she goes sticking her fingers in and craving the blood. Now, I think she's craving human blood. She turning into a creature. Nadia, how do you feel about Fatima, Nikki, her being pregnant, and this whole situation that we have going on with Fatima now in season 3?
Well, I knew as soon as Nikki went, my friend Zax was happy about that one because the character's bothered him since day one. I actually don't think it's blood. I think it's what organ is right there?
I'm not a doctor. I don't know.
I believe it's liver. Close to the liver is right there. Kidney, liver. I think she's going after the organs. The reason I say this is because in the past seasons, the night creatures have kind of taken human organs and completely degutted us. So I actually don't think she's craving the blood. I think she's actually craving because Nikki died from internal bleeding. So something like a bullet must have hit an organ. So something in there, organs are kind of all messed up. I think she's actually digging in deep for the organ that's there, whether it's a liver or something, and looking it up. I don't actually think it's human blood. I think it's because it coincides with the night creatures, anybody that they've killed, degutting them and taking the organs and stuff.
That is really interesting because when we were watching, I'm like, blood you can easily. I was like, why do they have her? I thought they were just trying to make it look real gross. But I was like, why is she digging her? You don't have to dig your fingers in all in the wound to get the blood. So that is interesting. And I was thinking when T Chin died, I was trying to remember. I was like, wait, I thought the creatures eat us. Do they not eat us? Because it seems like they just hollow people out. When we get the flashbacks with Victor with that massacre, like people get hollowed out. So it feels like, what are the creatures doing with our organs? Are they eating them, using them for something? So I think that does make sense that she is digging in there for a liver or some type of organ. Julie, how do you feel about Tabitha? Do you think she's going for blood? Is she going for liver? Is she turning into a creature? What the heck? Is she pregnant with a demon spawn? What are your thoughts on Fatima and Nikki dying?
I think that she wants the blood. I think that it has some connection to what happened in the previous episode. So when Jade and that group were out in the woods, Jade, he saw that vision of the Puritan man. At first, he had his eye stuck to the tree with that nasty spike through his eye, but then in the next vision, after Jade has knocked over one of the totems, which a lot of us are thinking ward off evil, he saw a vision of that Puritan man now freed from the tree, standing there drinking from what looks like a child's skull, a very small skull full of blood. And then he holds it out like he's offering it to Jade to have a drink. I think personally that this is a sign that they did unlock something. Like when he knocked over that totem, I think it actually it may be a little out there, but my theory on that is that it made the entity that's using Fatima as a vessel stronger and made it crave blood now. Rotten vegetables aren't enough. Now it wants blood because they knocked that totem off. So, we were thinking, okay, there's going to be something attacking them at the cabins, but so far nothing's happened. I think the next episode, I'm predicting probably nothing will happen. I think what that did was it definitely, I think it made that entity in Fatima stronger. That's not a baby in there. No way is that a baby, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was really disappointed with the Kenny, Jade, everyone out in the woods because I felt like once, which I know a lot of people felt, that once Jade pulled up that totem that something was going to go wrong. I felt very strongly that Jim, Kenny, they were safe when they went out there. And I was like, okay, now that totem is knocked down, they're not going to be safe out there. Something's going to happen. But no, nothing happened. But I really think that the vegetables were for whatever Fatima is carrying. I don't think it was a whole plan to make the people not have food. I think they are trying to get whatever this little from entity that I think is in Fatima. That's why her saying get that baby, I don't know, that felt like foreshadowing for me, which y'all know I can't go too far into, because we thought a lot of stuff was foreshadowing from season 1. Nothing has connected, but get that baby nice and strong just felt real eerie to me. But I also feel like I'm very upset with Fatima. Fatima is acting like the people that get bit by a zombie and don't say nothing. Okay, you eating some rotten vegetables. You know what? I had a cousin when she was pregnant, she would eat soap. I don't know what it is, but sometimes pregnant women do weird things. We could let some rotten vegetables go, but you're in here with this dead girl. You know something is wrong. And I feel like it is so irresponsible that she's not saying anything to anyone. Like even Donna, they tend to tell Donna everything. I feel like it's making me really not like
problem with all of them. Like Jim should have been telling people his dead son's calling him. Jade should be telling everybody about the visions. Fatima should be telling them what's going on with the baby. Like they're stuck there together. I don't know why they keep trying to keep secrets from each other when they all could come together and figure it out together instead of it always being the last minute. But that's writing. That's the writing for you. That's not so much the world we're looking at. It's the writing.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, it used to make me really, really frustrated the first 2 seasons that I can't even harp on that anymore, but I just feel like with Fatima, you can at least tell, like, because to me, you would tell somebody because I would be scared. Like, look at the place we're in. Look at the things that we've seen happen. And now I'm in here with this dead body, licking blood or digging for an organ or whatever she's doing. Something is wrong. Something isn't right. I would be scared. I would think desperation would lead you to share things.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
Absolutely.
what if they, they could have figured out how to get rid of not that I'm pro that, but like get rid of the kid too. Like if it's a night creature in there.
No, we needed to abort mission the second we found out because there's no way it's the baby.
But I'm saying, like, they need to talk to each other. They're all there together. They all have different skills and backgrounds. They all can come together and figure things out instead of each of them trying to be the hero and figure it out for themselves.
Yeah, I completely agree. Now, when Elgin first came into town on the bus, remember he was having the visions. But I feel like I've been feeling like recently, do the writers know what to do with Elgin? Because we keep seeing the boy sleep. But for episode 4, every time he popped up, he was sleeping, waking up from. I'm like, baby, I'm tired of seeing when the crow went through the window, Elgin was sleeping. We just keep seeing Elgin sleep. But now in this episode, Elgin is like, am I awake? When he's in there talking to Tilly. And Elgin again sees the dead woman in the kimono. That's what I call her. I know a lot of people call her the drowned woman. Why Elgin? Now, my theory was that she was never trying to drown Elgin. She was never trying to harm or hurt him. I always felt like she was trying to tell him something. It was reminiscent of like The Sixth Sense for me. When Bruce Willis tells the kid, like, they're trying to communicate with you. Let's see what they're trying to say. Like, that's what this was giving me with all of their interactions. And now, if I'm not mistaken, and you guys can correct me in the chat, or Nadia and Julie, I think this is the first time she's spoken to Elgin. In this episode, she reaches out her hand and she says, help me. And to my recollection, I do not recall her ever speaking to Elgin until now. So I'm very curious on your thoughts, Nadia. Why Elgin? Why do you think she's appearing to Elgin specifically? Is he tied? And I know we have theories that like Sarah is tied. I personally think anyone in the From is tied to the From. But why do we think she's appearing to Elgin? And what is the message that you think she's trying to give him? Or do you think she's evil and trying to do something to Elgin?
Well, there's so many theories about her. I don't remember who said it, but someone said that she wasn't trying to drown him. She was just trying to block him from hearing the music box at the time so that he wouldn't fall victim to it. And also from the beginning, Elgin's always been sensitive, right? Having those visions on the bus, knowing that he's going to be coming to Fromily and stuff. So I think the reason why she's communicating with him is because he's, I don't want to say a medium, but he's, some people just have really good intuition and are sensitive to a lot of things. Like you all instantly in your gut knows like this is a bad situation even before you get to wherever you're going, kind of deal. So I think that's why she's locked onto him, because he's sensitive and able to do so. After seeing this, I don't know if this is Fatima. I know there's a theory that this woman is Fatima, like, the night creature she's carrying is going to suck the life out of her, and this is what she's going to turn into. Because I thought for a long time that the red marks on her kimono were blood, but looking at it now, I think it's just the style of the kimono. And I don't think it's a birthing kimono, because I don't think birthing kimonos have that huge strap across the waist either. So I don't know. I like every time I think this woman is something, they throw me a curveball, and I'm like, back to square one. But I think the reason why she's picked Elgin is because he's sensitive to that, like worldly things.
And it's interesting to me that Elgin had dreams of From before coming to From, and so did Victor's mom, but it doesn't seem like he was chosen in the way that Victor's mom was chosen as far as saving the kids. So I'm really curious, why did he have visions of From before getting here? What is like his little part in all of this? It seems like everyone is some type of puzzle piece. And I just wonder, it doesn't seem, unless I'm reading wrong, but it doesn't seem like he's here for the kids. But he did have visions of this place when they were on the bus, and he was screaming, and I think he threw up on somebody. I can hardly really remember everything from there.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering, why was Elgin chosen, and what exactly? I never thought this woman was Fatima. I'm just wondering, like, why Elgin? What is she trying to tell him? What is the point of him having visions of From before getting here? What exactly are we doing with Elgin, and how will he tie into everything? What do you think, Julie?
Yeah, so it became really clear that he had been chosen for some role when he got to town and he had that freak out moment. He woke up from his dream on the bus. He seemed to recognize this place. He looked around and he panicked. He said, "We've got to, you have to turn around. We have to turn back." And, he threw up on Randall, like you were saying. And, when they got off the bus, he did something. It was the same thing that happened to Ethan when he arrived. He had a seizure. And when he
I
got
forgot
out of the
about that.
yeah. So that means he's tapped into this place in a special way, like Ethan is, like Sarah, who also has seizures. So he's tapped in a certain way. But when he came out of the seizure, he couldn't remember the dream. It wasn't until the end of the season he remembered the boy in white appeared to him, recited that cicada nursery rhyme. And so clearly that was a premonition dream. I think that there had to be more to it because that wouldn't be enough to make him panic. I think he recognized this place and he saw something horrifying. I'm still hoping he'll remember the rest of it because I was let down when it was just the boy in white stuff that he said.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that he was picked by this entity, this kimono lady, because he has that special connection to this place. And yeah, I agree with Nadia. I don't think that she was trying to hurt him ever, actually. It just looked like it. I agree with that theory out there that, maybe she was trying to keep him from hearing the music box. Maybe he was falling asleep and that entity was going to get him in his sleep, like it was after everyone else at the time. And by pushing him under the water, she was trying to wake him up. So yeah, and then she puts her hands on his face in this season, and to me, that doesn't look like a threatening gesture. She just looks terrifying. But yeah, there's something I don't know what she means when she says, "Help me, please." Like that's interesting to me. Like maybe she's a spirit of someone who died here and she needs like, her soul to be set free. But I don't know. There's just a lot of mystery on that.
Breezy K, that's the thing. Sarah said the voices were waiting for someone to communicate with. Elgin is that person. That's interesting. And I'm glad y'all got better memory than me. I forgot Sarah said that. It's been 3 seasons of all kind of events. But I'm glad you remembered that. That is true. So I guess she was waiting for Elgin.
Tully's the mole. Tully's the mole. We're done here.
Of course, one big theory that the Fromville fans have had from the beginning is Tilly is the mole. Tilly working for From. Tilly is evil. And me personally, I do not think Tilly is a mole. I do not think Tilly is crazy. Tilly remind me of my grandma that ain't got all her marbles. Tilly is just a silly old woman. But I mainly feel this way because I personally feel like it would be too on the nose. The show would not be that obvious. All the events that she just so happened to be there for example, Marielle with her relapse on drugs and Tilly bringing, what was the medicine Tilly brought?
Morphine.
Morphine, thank you.
Dying
I
of
just
cancer.
feel like it would just be way too obvious. I kind of feel like anytime a movie has this shining or TV show has a shining neon sign saying this person, it's not them. And that's how I feel with Tilly. Now, who would make sense to be a mole for me is Donna. Donna has a convenient, tragic backstory with having to hear her sister die. And Donna is always around when certain conversations are being had. When she popped up, when Ellis and Boyd was talking about capturing the creature, she's always there for a conversation. She's one of the very few people in town that have stepped up in a role like Boyd of like trying to take care of people and being authority. Do I really think Donna is a mole? No, I don't. But I think it would make more sense. And that's why I'm putting her next to Tilly because I just feel like it's too obvious if Tilly is a mole or if she's evil. But hey, maybe the writers are just being obvious. Julie, do you think Tilly is a mole?
I don't. I mean, I like to have a lot of fun with the whole, it's become a meme at this point. Tilly's Fanny Pack Granny is super sus. We have fun with it. And yeah, she is sus, but I feel like you're right. It would be too obvious. They're hitting us over the head with it at this point.
Right.
It seems like they definitely have been like we know that the showrunners actually pay attention to what the fandom is saying, and it seems like they're deliberately shouting out and trolling us a bit with our own theories this season. They're making Tilly look more sus than ever, which is why I think that she's not the mole. And same with Donna. Yeah, too obvious. I agree.
I love Jay Sleek's comment. Tilly gonna die, and we still gonna think she the mole.
Right?
I don't think anyone is a mole. I think From has nothing to do with humans as far as the people orchestrating or working for it. I don't know if people just think Tilly not human. Nadia, do you think Tilly is a mole?
I think Tilly's a mole, but I don't think Tilly's a mole for something evil. I think Tilly's just placed there to watch and observe and see how things are. And I don't necessarily think she's for good nor evil. I think she's just a neutral mole in there. Because, I mean, come on. The tarot card reading, the closeness with Fatima, especially now that she's pregnant and stuff, the dancing in the rain when she finally got off the bus. Like, maybe she's not a mole, but there's something about Tilly that is connected to this place, but I don't think it's for evil. I just think she's there to observe, maybe move some chess pieces around, just maybe like push them in certain directions. I don't know.
Yeah,
Or
you're
maybe
right. I agree with you. I agree with you on that. I mean, there's something off about her. That the Fatima connection has me curious. There is something going on there. Let's not forget she somehow knew Fatima was pregnant. And I'm sorry, but I don't buy that. Just okay, some women can tell when other women are pregnant. Okay, maybe in the real world I would just look the other way, but this is not a normal pregnancy, and Tilly knew it. So that makes me
and it's
think
not
that
like Fatima's showing either, too, on top of it, you know. And the fact that she was knitting something pink tells me that it's going to be a pink. It's going to be whatever it's going to pop out of Fatima is probably going to be a girl.
Whatever pops out.
Whatever pops out, the sex is going to be a girl, whether it's a human or a nightmare creature. But I don't think she's for evil. I just think she's just kind of, D&D people would get it. I think she's just lawful neutral, where she's just there to observe, to make sure things kind of move along, but she's not there to intervene. So like whatever happens, she's not allowed to kind of intervene to save people or to like hurt people. I think she's just there to kind of be right there in the middle. But
and for the normies, what is D&D, Nadia?
Dungeons and Dragon.
Oh, okay, thank you. Vanessa Wicked, does Nadia have a channel? Yes, Nadia has a YouTube channel, and if you are watching on my channel, I have her tagged in the description. If you are watching from Julie B's channel, she also has Nadia tagged in the description, so please make sure you guys go over to her and support her on her channel. Now, when we got Tilly and the tarot cards, and then the bird flew through the window, I thought the From was trying to stop Tilly from revealing something. I think Tilly will do good with those tarot cards. Nadia, I guess you don't think she was about to reveal something that the From didn't want to be known?
I think the bird is an intervention for whatever she was going to reveal, but then why didn't she just reveal it right afterwards? Why, like, if it was really something very important, she's very worried about Fatima's baby, why didn't she pull Fatima aside and said, listen, besides the bird, so this is what's going on.
Besides the bird.
Yeah, besides the bird, let somebody else deal with the cleanup. Let me tell you what your card said. Doesn't make sense. So I am for that she is just placed there for some reason. But I don't think she's there for, like, I think the evil entity was trying to intervene with the crow or raven. I don't know if it was a crow or raven, but those birds have meanings too.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that confuses the crows and the ravens. Julie, in this episode, when Tilly is sitting at the table with Elgin, and she says that she's worried about her. No, not Nikki, Fatima. What do you think Tilly is referring to if she didn't see the tarot card results?
I think that she has some kind of intuition, something connected to this place. There is something off about her. Like, while I don't think that she's like officially a mole, like she's working against these people in some way, she senses something. She sensed that Fatima was pregnant to begin with, and I don't think it's a normal pregnancy. I think it's some kind of entity. So she seems to be able to sense that there is something wrong with Fatima's pregnancy, and it's interesting to me. And I thought the timing of the crow. There's no way that was actually coincidence. It was as if something, the big bad didn't want her to get that insight that the cards were going to give her. So
Right.
yeah.
Dane C, happy birthday, Nikki. Don't spend this all at once. Thank you so much, Dane, for the super chat. Thank you. I truly appreciate it. Vanessa Wicked with the $20 happy birthday. Thank you so much. Thank you, Vanessa. I truly appreciate the super chats. Thank you. When it comes to Tilly, I feel like the way you guys were saying that Elgin is like just sensitive, I think Tilly is a regular person. She's not a mole, but she was sick. Apparently, she had this cancer. And typically in movies and TV shows, like, those people that are like close to death or have a brush with death, they're like sensitive and they can like see. I think that maybe is why Tilly like knows things, knows about Fatima was pregnant. I just can't get on board with her. The From don't need a mole. The From is everywhere. The From don't need a mole. One theory I have had that has been bugging me with the people in town is the fact that or maybe not a theory, but just a thought, but they spend so much time and they put so much emphasis on the dangers at night. But I feel like, why have the characters not realized we're not safe in the daytime? There are a lot of different things that happen that show us the From is listening and watching even in the daytime. Like, the night is not the only time we're in danger. One time in particular that ties into season 3, because it seems to be the theme of season 3, is Boyd yelling that the From can't break him. He yelled that in the daytime, and then now the creatures recite it back to him, and that seems to be the theme for season 3, is trying to break Boyd. And I'm wondering, will Boyd finally come to some kind of conclusion with the fact that he was making a plan to catch a creature, and the creature's called Randall? I personally don't think it's coincidence that Tabitha comes back into town at the exact moment that Boyd is on this bus to watch the creatures, and Randall tells us they're creatures of habit. They do the same thing every single night, and this night they're suddenly not doing that. They obviously knew Tabitha was coming back. They obviously orchestrated their own plan. I thought it was just so interesting that Boyd is orchestrating a plan and the From is orchestrating a plan. I personally think the From is a lot more calculating than the townspeople seem to even recognize or let on to. Julie, what are your thoughts about the From being calculating, making this whole plan? Do you think they orchestrated to get Randall specifically and have Tabitha come in at the exact time that Boyd is trying to do this whole plan?
I absolutely think so. Absolutely. Yeah. I think that Randall was supposed to be a target, and, I think that they probably, like, it's almost like they lulled him into a false sense of security, like following the same patterns every night. They're predictable, doing the same things every night. And then boom, this ambulance is going to come to town. They know about it somehow, and they plan an ambush. Like, once again, they're evolving their tactics. They're getting more sophisticated. And yeah, I don't think this was a coincidence. And also, you're right that they're not only in danger at night, because we've got to remember, Boyd was out in the middle of the woods when he yelled, "You don't break me," at the end of season 2. And something heard him all the way out in the woods. It's not just like the houses are bugged or something like that. Someone could hear him in the middle of the woods. And the monsters literally quoted him back. "Oh yeah, you said this place couldn't break you." So I found it really kind of foolish that Boyd is walking around telling Ellis and, talking to Donna, like, about this plan to catch a monster. Like, they're listening, right? Like, they're gonna know about your plan.
It was irking me so bad. Like, if you don't just orchestrate something in your head, boy. Daryl Seymour, the voice on the phone knew about the ambulance as well as the monsters. I personally feel like they're all the From. Like, that's what I call it. Like, the creatures, the voice on the phone, I think it's all the From, and they're all they all know the same information. What do you think, Julie? Like, the voice on the phone that's supposed to be the infant that died that don't sound like an infant, that even the voice on that was saying like your wife shouldn't be digging and all of these things. I tie all of it into the From. Do you think it's all one entity that's connected, or you think they're all separate? The creatures, the voice, the From.
I think that there is one big bad that kind of controls this whole hierarchy of evil entities, like the cicada entity, the monsters, which Martin in the dungeon said were just the tip of the spear. And the monsters are like a hive mind, all connected to one big bad. And I definitely think it includes the voice on the radio, the Thomas voice. Like those voices, I don't think they're from actual humans. They're like a parlor trick that this entity is using. Making the radio say that, making the phone ring, and So yeah, I think that's all the big bad, and there also might be a kind of lesser of two evils sort of entity, maybe the boy in white. Like an entity that's trying to assist when it can, but there's only so much that it can do. Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking.
Now, we talk about moles and who being evil. I would say the boy in white is evil. I don't believe he's good. Nadia, do you think there are different competing entities or different entities, maybe not competing, but working together? Like, do you think it's just one big entity that's all connected like a hive mind?
Well, if we base everything up Norse mythology, no, I'm kidding. I think I'm with Julie. I think there's one overall big baddie that is controlling all the little baddies that we see, such as like the night creatures and other things. But I also think there is, I don't want to say lesser evil. I think there is a good faction that's just pushing up against it. It could also be spirits of, or people who have gone through these cycles who are stuck there in some way. So I think there's like an overall two entities fighting and everybody's kind of like underneath hierarchy. But I think the biggest thing that the evil entity is doing is causing the division amongst the humans. Everybody's like, what you were saying, that we're not for a danger at night, but the worst danger during the day is each other, like each of themselves, like each of them being influenced in some ways. Look at Boyd got shot last season, like just out of the blue. Like I think, humans are going to be humans, and I think we're our worst enemies instead of they all should be colluding together and figuring out. That's why I think communication is such a big thing for them that they're lacking in.
Right, divide and conquer, or that it's like they're trying to use that divide and conquer, like isolate these people, give them all kinds of weird, unique visions that mess with their heads and keep them isolated and make these information silos. Yeah. And I totally agree. I think the spirits of the dead might be trying to help there too. Yeah.
That's why I don't think Randall is necessarily dead, nor do I think Randall is going to be dead at the next season. I think they calculated a way to put him in a position that is going to cause even more friction amongst the humans. So now Boyd has to worry about this other faction that's up against him during the day, and then on top of it, these night creatures and trying to get out of this stuff. So I think there's a lot at play here.
Well, one big thing from episode 4 is the whole Randall, like, you can't save them all. We get to keep Randall when Boyd cannot find the keys. And I feel like Boyd did not abandon Randall. Boyd did not leave Randall for dead. To me, that implies you had a choice. You had a way to save him. Realistically, the monsters could have took everybody out. The monsters could have took Randall and could have took everybody at the ambulance. It was so frustrating to me when they kept having their back turned at that ambulance. When Boyd is looking for the key and the monster comes up behind him, he could have been dead. Like literally, there was nothing Boyd could have done in that moment if that monster would rather kill him than hand him the keys. So how do you feel, Nadia? Do you think Boyd abandoned Randall, or do you think he just had no choice?
I don't think also the monsters can kill Boyd. Does he still have that stuff in his blood? Because isn't it his blood in a sense poisonous to them? That they kind of.
You know what? I was confused on that. If he's still, I haven't seen the little worms crawling in his skin. I'm confused on if he still has that stuff in his blood or not.
That's why I thought she wouldn't kill him, but everybody can say in this situation, oh, we can just like run them over or or we can just like we could save them both.
I don't
can
think winning
understand
them over would do anything.
No, I don't think so either. I think
Yeah.
honestly he did the right choice because he saved multiple lives versus one. But I do understand, but that's why I think they did this to cause the friction between the two. They knew that Boyd was not going to be able to save him, that Boyd was going to choose to save the others, to drive them up, and that's why they didn't kill Randall. They just wanted it in a way to cause Boyd more pain and in a way to break him further on.
And I feel like that is going to annoy me so bad if, first of all, if all of the good for nothing townspeople that don't ever do anything over there in community house got any nerve to be mad at, like, y'all go save somebody. All the people in community house, they don't do nothing all day. But I'll also be annoyed because I just feel like, first of all, I've been annoyed with why in the world we put everything on Boyd's shoulder. Even when Donna was upset with him that he said, he would get them out of here. I'm just like, why do we expect one person who literally ended up here the same as everyone else? Like, why is it on his shoulders to singularly save everyone? But I just feel like we should also be of the mind that this had to be calculating. Since when do the creatures not kill somebody that they have dead to rights? Since when would they leave somebody alive? Like, ever? I mean, the girl who had the little nail in her head, look, that was just like a weird, but like, when do they literally just not kill someone that they have dead to rights? I feel like this was obviously, the whole thing was calculated. Like, the whole setup was calculated to me. Julie, what are your thoughts on the whole Randall, the creatures? They ripped they ripped baby. They ripped his face up. And I will say, I've never liked Randall. And I literally said in my video from episode 3, he needs to die. But they made me feel for Randall in this episode. I did feel for him.
Right. Yeah, that's the brilliance of this show. It's impressive. I was feeling for him too, and I couldn't stand this character. But yeah, this was so calculated. This is more psychological warfare on Boyd to try to break him, because this entity that's in charge, it knows that Boyd was in the military for 30 years, that he believes in the motto, leave no man behind. And that ever since he came to town, he's had this kind of savior complex. He came to town, he saw the barn was painted with the words, save us. And it's like, ever since then, he's had this all on his shoulders, and it is frustrating because everyone is turning to him, leaning on him, and then they criticize him when things don't go well. It's like,
right.
Why don't you go out and risk your neck then? You go out to the woods, Alice. You're ranting and raving at your dad for not finding a way out.
In that defense, though, Boyd put himself in that position to be, in a sense, the man in charge. So if you're going to put yourself in the position to be the man in charge, people are going to depend on you. People are going to put all their weight on your shoulders. So, like, he kind of put himself in that position.
He did, but it's
true.
But remember that speech though that Katri gave him in season 1? Katri was telling him, you don't have the luxury of grief. You need to be the one to lead these people home. Okay, well, why does it have to be him? So there was extra pressure put on him, but you're right, Nadia, though. I mean, he did from the beginning. He kind of, did that to himself. Like in the flashback when he first arrived, like, boom, the next morning, he immediately took charge and started organizing everybody. The day after, like, he arrived. So, it's a little bit of both things going on. People are putting too much pressure on him. But yeah, he did kind of take that on himself. He started it, and then they expect it now. But he was in an impossible position. I think he made the choice that he had to make here. He had no choice. It's the classic trolley problem. He had to allow harm to come to Randall in order to save, a larger number of people in that ambulance. Right. I don't think he had a choice.
Right. I completely agree. It sounds weird, but I think the From plays fair to an extent if you figure out the rules. I don't think it's playing fair if we don't know the rules. Like, you got to lay the rules out in the beginning for it to be fair. But I feel like Randall is already such an unlikable character, at least for me. I don't know, like, the overarching, like, fandom with Randall. I can't stand Randall from the beginning. Like, just attitude, tying Donna to that damn tree. I ain't like, well, Jim, that was Jim's fault, really. But I just feel like if we are about to take this and have Randall be even more of an a-hole, because he's already like the loner character that's separated from the community. Of course, we know he was, banished to the bus. But I just feel like if we're going to use this for him to like have another like reason to have a chip on his shoulder or attitude, I really don't want to sit through that.
Somebody in your comments also pointed out they just don't want Randall and Boyd to team up. They cause this friction between the two of them. They both, I think Randall has military background, similar to, not same as Boyd, but I think it was like passively mentioned. So maybe that's a good reason to not have the two of them team up, because they, with that discussion in the bus of like, he's like, I am an asshole, but I will literally help get out of here because I've seen things that are worse than death here from when he was being possessed. So it could be that they just don't want them to team up.
And it's so interesting you say that, because I was super annoyed when Boyd went to Ellis to say like I'm like, of all people, you know your son is good for nothing. Like of all, and I literally felt like we should go to Randall, because yes, Randall is the a-hole character, but I feel like Randall gonna do some ish. Like if we say, like Randall just feels to me like the character that'll be down to do some ish. I was like, well, what? You know that your son is not getting his hands dirty. He good. When we first see him, he was swimming in the pond with Fatima. Like he has not done anything really lifting a finger. And I did feel like we should team up with Randall if we're going to speak anything out loud. I just don't know why the hell it was Ellis.
I agree with you.
Randall
honestly, Ellis frustrates me. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, going to Ellis frustrates me. I love to hear your reasonings. I can't stand Ellis. I really can't. I don't know how that is Boyd's spawn.
Honestly, yeah. You know, the way he treated Boyd in season 1, the way he held onto that grudge, like he acted like a petulant child, and I understand what he went through was brutal. I get it. But his father had no choice, and he held onto that grudge for so long and acted so childishly. And Fatima had to be the one to like push him, you know, go after your father. This might be the only chance you have. He might not come back. She was just acting like a kid, and then Boyd comes back from this dangerous trek in the woods, and Ellis rants at him, throws a little hissy fit because Boyd didn't find a way out. Well, why did you get up and go do it yourself? Like, oh God, yeah, he irritates me.
I feel the same. I feel the exact same way.
I think also I would rather give Sarah way more grace than Ellis. I get it.
Absolutely.
Ellis, especially since they both like experience so much in this and they know there's stuff going on. I'm sorry, I'm just anti-Sarah hate. I think Sarah should. Sarah deserves some grace.
I'm with you,
Sarah.
I'm Sarah.
She's the only one she is the only one after Boyd doing anything. Like to me, she's the second best character in the entire series. But
I'm with you. And as a matter of fact, I would have went to Sarah to help me catch a monster before I go to Ellis.
Yep.
100%. Oh God, yeah, I can't stand Ellis. And I think that's one of my things that annoy me with the show. And I have to be reminding myself, this is not real. These folks ain't real. But I can't stand people that complain, but they don't have another, like you have no options, but you want to complain about the way your father handles things. But what are you doing? Like you're not doing anything.
Drawing. Drawing. Though I wonder if the symbol on the talisman symbol on his jeans, somebody said at least somebody's not going to get into his pants, I guess. Because he's been drawing that all over his pants.
Oh. I love it.
We kind of already went into this a little bit, but is Randall just a pawn? Like, but you know, we already went into, I think Nadia said that this is just a way for the From to cause like further divide amongst the humans, but I just really hope it don't come to that. Like I need Randall to be rational for a bit, because Boyd did say get your ass to the bus. Like Boyd did tell you to go on now to that bus. Like we tried to help you the best way we could, but it was literally nothing. I just personally feel like there's nothing Boyd could have done. There was no saving Henry, Tabitha, Jim, and saving Randall. And it really was no saving the people in the ambulance if it wasn't for the creatures just letting Boyd do that. Boyd didn't really save them, because them creatures could have popped up on them in that ambulance and not giving them the keys.
It's so interesting to see the evolving of these creatures, because if you go back and watch season 1, they're not very smart, or they don't come off very smart. It's not just little tidbits throughout season 2 that you start to realize like they can think for themselves. They're not just like today. Oh, not today, but this episode, they're not a creature of habit like they all think they were. They in episode 1, they trapped Boyd. Like they're smarter. I don't know if they're evolving or they're just being better written or they're just like letting them to see what they really are. Maybe they were human at one point.
Yeah, I think they were human because I think there was a scene. I think me and Julie had the same thoughts when we were on your live. I can't remember. Julie, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But we had a scene where Fatima was looking in the bathroom mirror that looked very similar to the girl who got let into a community house by that idiot.
Yep.
I think it was season 1. And she says a line that I didn't choose to be this way. So I think the creatures were once human.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, you're
Fromily
right.
theory. Hey Nikki, what's the chances me and you made the same video on the reverse audio after 2 years? What are the chances? I'm not sure what that's referring to. I think we need to explore more about Abby. Like, what has made her turn? Was it from? Everything is the from. I think everything is the from, but I think Randall is absolutely upon. But getting into Randall being upon, we know that last season, Marielle, Julie, and Randall were all in this weird trance. Julie made a comment to Sarah that she feels like the from has gotten into her head. And I'm still curious what all of that was and what is the from's plan with these 3 characters. And Boyd breaking the music box, like what did the music box have? Like how did that tie in? What is our overarching plan for these 3 characters and why the from chose them in particular? Nadia, do you have any theories on what the from's plan is with these 3?
Sleeper agents. I think they're sleeper agents. I think either they don't know what they're doing to cause friction and chaos, or they do, like they turn on or off. I really honestly think they're sleeper agents for it. That's why, like, each of them, I'm like, why aren't you all talking about what happens? Why are we knowing what you saw? Like, this is information you should be. I get it. It was very traumatic. I get it. You almost died in your sleep. I get it. But like, you should be telling
Nadia,
people.
I'm sorry, Nadia. I'm sorry. I have to cut you. I don't know. Fromville theory. I have no idea who you are, what you're talking about. I'm literally clueless. Please stop flooding my comments. I don't even know you. I don't know what you're talking about. I've never seen you on my channel. I don't know if I missed something, but I have no idea what you're talking about. Truly. And I will block you if you do not stop flooding my comments. I'm sorry, Nadia. So sorry to interrupt you.
You're fine. It's all good. I just think they're sleeper agents. I think that's what it's going to come to. I think they're going to be part of whatever the end of this season is going to be, and they're going to be on the side of evil or whatever entity. Because why use them and then they wake up? You mean telling me there's no consequences or repercussions for doing that? But that's yeah.
What do you think, Julie? And I also feel like, sorry, Julie, I also feel like that's why I don't understand everyone being scared of Sarah. I literally feel like this place can get into anyone's head at any moment and make you do all kind of stuff. And I definitely think these 3 are questionable. Julie, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I definitely think that there are lasting after effects from that cicada coma, if you want to call it that.
Cicada coma.
Yeah, like that. Like, it seems like the best term for it. I think that, yeah. So with Randall, we saw that those cicadas, like those imaginary invisible cicadas, like the vision of them, it seems to be, I think they can be remotely triggered whenever one of them is trying to help with something, like to kind of sabotage. Like Randall was in the middle of trying to help. He got onto the bus to get the tools. The cicadas showed up. They attacked him in the street when the monsters were abandoning. I mean, when the monsters were advancing on him. So yeah, I think that entity is in them in some way. And Julie had an interesting piece of dialogue in episode 1 this season where she was telling Sarah, I feel like this place has gotten in my head. I'm afraid of what that might mean. And she even admitted, like, she's worried about turning into another Sarah. So that's some foreshadowing right there. We could see, maybe they are sleeper agents in some way, like that there's some kind of evil entity that could be triggered inside of them, possibly.
I definitely think so. I think anyone, and we had the guy that shot Boyd. Anybody can go crazy. But of course, we have our poll up on the channel right now in the chat of who do you guys think will save everyone? Will it be Boyd, Victor, Jade, or can they just not be saved? And we have 29% that say Boyd will save everyone, 21% says Jade, and 21% says Victor. 29% says they can't be saved. So it seems we currently have a tie between they can't be saved and Boyd will be the one to save everyone. Hey, Kay, thank you so much. Key Nikki Day. Yes, it's my birthday. I was born at 6:06 a.m. Okay, so we're about to another year around. What do they say? The moon or the sun?
Another year around the sun.
Another year around the sun. Okay, 40. My 40s will be the greatest. I cannot wait. I feel the opposite of I can't wait for 40s and 50s. Like I just feel like that's gonna be my time. Nadia, do you have any opinions on who will save us? I feel Jade is the key, but I think this will end where we cannot be saved. But who do you think will save us in the end?
I think Boyd's going to make an ultimate sacrifice and save the majority of them. And then we're going to get a homage of like them all happy in the real world or coming to terms with what happened and stuff. And then we're going to cue to like, I don't know, where Boyd was supposed to be buried and he's going to be like off in the distance looking out or something to that extent. But I think Boyd is going to make the ultimate sacrifice because in this, Boyd is the hero of the story. So everything relies on him. And for him, I think he'll have to be the one to sacrifice himself to save the rest of them. I think Jade is just going to be a component of it to help. Kind of like they're Avengers, right? Boyd is the muscle, Jade is the brains. I don't know how the other ones fit, but that's where I think they'll beat it, but I think it's going to come with, and I think quite a few people are going to die between now and whenever they decide the finale of this is going to be.
Yes, yeah. I definitely am holding on hope to my theory that we are going to have a huge massacre. Like, I really think there is some devastation that we have been building up to. CJ, this is where it's at. Happy birthday to you too. Why are you stealing my birthday? This is my day. Nobody else has a birthday on 10/16 but me. Oh, I know this got to be sarcasm. Jim obviously saves everyone. Jim can't save his haircut. Jim cannot save himself.
I actually think Jim's going to die by saving his family because he's just been set up to be such an awful parent and awful husband and partner. And just, I really think to redeem himself, he's going to be the one to save his family or kids in some way by sacrificing himself between now and whenever they decide.
I definitely agree with you, Nadia, that I think just the character of Boyd, I think he is that character that is set up to have like that ultimate sacrifice. He's kind of the Rick Grimes of the Fromville, but I do feel like if anyone would do something like that, it would be him. I think it would be way too on the nose for Sarah to do it, to have like this redemption arc where she sacrifices herself. So I definitely feel like it's set up to be Boyd. Julie, what are your thoughts? Who will save us, or can they even be saved?
So I think that Jade and Boyd are going to play a huge role in it. I think, they would make the perfect team. That's why I was so frustrated that, like at the beginning of the season, like we had seen pictures of the two of them talking in the sheriff's station. I thought, finally, they're going to put their heads together. The most smartest, most resourceful two in this place who have never worked together. But they hardly talked at all, and then the animals were set free. Like, okay, now we're herding cows. All right, I was disappointed in that, but in the end, yeah, I think that Jade is going to figure out a lot of how to get them out of here, how to defeat this entity, but Boyd is ultimately going to be the main person to save them all, and will probably sacrifice his own life in the end, probably the finale of the whole series. He's been set up to be the savior of the whole thing. So I would be shocked if it's anything else.
I think Fatima's baby is going to be a monster / human day. Oh, we're gonna have a blade. We're gonna have a blade creature. Daywalker, who will either make the monsters come out during the day as well, or either help destroy the monsters or the main entity. I would absolutely be here for us turning it up a notch and having Daywalker monsters. I would absolutely be here for that. Give us the from blade creatures. The Daywalker. Honestly, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. I really appreciate it. Shout out to the 152 people here with us in the live. Julie, I may be getting into birthday shenanigans. Okay, it's birthday season. I was trying to say happy birthday with the super chat, but I did it wrong. Thank you so much. Honestly, I really, really appreciate it. So that's where the Blade remake went.
Oh man, sounds better than what I've read of the scripts. Yeah.
Yeah, I want nothing to. I think Wesley Snipes is Blade. Leave it alone.
I agree.
I love Mahershala Ali. Give him his own entity, like create his own character. But yes, let's leave Blade alone. I'm sorry, they ain't got nothing to do with From, but yeah, leave Blade alone.
Give us Old Man Blade. Give us Old Man Blade, like in the comics. Just give us Old Man Blade, and with Wesley Snipes, one more movie, we're done.
I am definitely here for that. Thank you so much to Nadia and Julie for being here with me to discuss From. If you are interested, I do have my solo videos up on From. So please check those out. As well as if you just want to go back for my old thoughts, I do have my videos for season 1 and season 2 up on the channel. I just dropped my video for Mr. Crockett as well. I am also following The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon. And now I am going to give each of the ladies the floor so they can tell you guys where you can find them, how you can support them, and what they have coming up. I will start with Miss Nadia. Please tell the people how they can find you. And if you are watching from my channel, A Night of Horror, Nadia's is in the description box. So please make sure you go support her. If you are watching from Julie B Deep Dives, she is also in her description. So please go over and support Nadia.
Oh, full box. Okay. Yes, I have a horror channel called Horror with Nads. I go every Tuesday live talking about horror news. I do some live streams on movies. I also go live on Friday to discuss From right now. So go ahead and subscribe to that. I would appreciate it. I'm also going to be tonight, right after this, on Zax's channel. Zax was in the chat. We're going to be talking about villains and villain arcs and stuff. So that's going to be fun. But yeah, follow my YouTube and then follow me on Twitter because I'm on like 9 more streams between now and Sunday. So I'm not going to list all of them. I'm on a lot.
Nadia is booked and busy. Okay, she's booked more than Beyonce. Julie, please tell the people where they can find you and what you have coming up. If you are watching from A Night of Horror, Julie is also in my description box. So please go over and support her. Julie, let the people know.
Thank you so much for having me, Nikki. So tonight I released a theory video on the latest episode of From on my channel, Julie B Deep Dives. And I'll be going live for my Wednesday night live at 10:30 p.m. Eastern tonight. I'll also be going live tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern. And I'll have a couple more From videos out by the end of the week as well. Some theory videos on my overall perspective on what is going on with Fromville. And on my channel, there's also a link in every video to my Discord. I have a new Discord server to talk From, Silo, Severance, and other cool shows like that. So thank you so much for having me, Nikki.
Yes, and I will also take the last few minutes to go through the chat. Everybody on my channel know, I can't really pay attention to the chat when I'm trying to like do the live, especially a live like this, because I'm trying to listen to Nadia and Julie and like respond to them. So let me see. I think Abby lost her mind because of this. She thought by killing everyone, she was helping them. Yes, if I remember correctly, Abby is Boyd's wife. She thought that everyone was asleep. So if she shot them, they would wake up. So I don't really know what Ellis expected Boyd to do. Let your mama keep shooting people? Christy confirmed they were human. Is that when they did the autopsy on
Yes, they found that
Okay.
their organs, at some point they were human.
Okay. Randall looks like a He's not Jasper. Oh my god.
I mean, he looks pretty close to Jasper. I'm just saying.
Sarah is the key master and Victor is the gatekeeper. I have been feeling like since season 1 that Victor is the key to everything. I'm like, he's been here the longest. I don't know why we don't turn him into a POW and torture him for information. I think he's the key. Julie, do you think Victor is the key and all the information he knows and how long he's been here?
Yeah, I really think that Victor is apparently he's going to spend this season, it looks like, continuing to try and unlock buried memories, and there's a lot that's deep in his subconscious that he's blocked out. So I think that he's going to unearth some key information this season. I'm hoping he might not be the key to solving all of it, but he's going to give some insight, I think, into like how, what happened in the previous cycle, what happened before the last massacre. Maybe it'll help them going forward. But what I worry though is that once he remembers everything, I think he might be expendable as a character, and we could end up losing him at that point, which I dread. I love Victor.
Do you think he'll be happy to see his dad here? I personally do not get all of the can't wait to see Victor and Henry reunite. I would hate for my loved one to be in the From. I would not want my dad here.
But it might help Victor kind of come out of his shell a little bit. I know he's autistic, I guess, or has a learning disability, or just, I mean, where did he go to school? The From. So I completely get it. But having his dad there might help him kind of come out of his shell a little bit.
I guess. I just feel like, I thought it was weird when Jim even said that to Tabitha, when she says she's sorry or whatever. He's like, all that matters is you're back here and you're safe. What do you mean all that matters? I wouldn't want her back here. Even if I have to think you're dead, I'd rather you have escaped and be in the real world. I thought that was very odd that he said that. Randall is the bad boy punk, paranoid, hates all authority, reckless, but he'll take risks to help people. He can be useful if you can keep him on track. I completely agree. I still can't stand his character, but I cannot believe it. I really felt for Randall. I was about to pour one out for him, and I literally said last episode, kill him off. And in this episode, I felt so bad. Yeah, Ellis is young, but he old enough, okay, to not be so useless. But thank you guys so much for being here for From. Thank you to my panelists. I really appreciate it. Please make sure you go over and support Nadia and Julie B if you are watching from my channel. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you.
Goodbye.